The current climates on Earth have derived from 650,000 years of cycles, 7 to be exact, all contributing to glacial retreats and advances, and ice ages, last of which ending about 7,000 years ago, beginning the birth of the modern climates. Most climate cycles are due to the variation in Earth's orbit around the Sun, affecting the amount of solar energy Earth gains. However, in the past 1,300 years, current trends in the climate have significantly veered away from the norm, and it is very likely that humans are to blame. In the past, we have discovered from glacial coring that carbon dioxide levels had never exceeded about 300 parts per million. But what we have found out is that current levels are about 400 parts per million. Carbon dioxide is the primary greenhouse gas produced throughout all human activities, and accounts for 82% of all greenhouse emissions. Carbon dioxide is naturally in the atmosphere because of the natural circulation of the carbon through the carbon cycle. But with all the extra emissions being produced, there has been a huge imbalance in the carbon cycle, big enough that microorganisms and plants are unable to correct the imbalance. The thing about CO2 is that when exposed to infrared radiation, the molecules will start to vibrate, storing the heat. The other problem with CO2 is the fact that it can cause the ocean to acidify, which causes the breakdown of the outer shells and affect the development of oceanic organisms, most important of which is the coccolithophores. Why, you may ask? Well, coccolithophores release a chemical called dimethyl sulfide into the atmosphere. This molecule condenses atmospheric water and is deposited on it, forming a small cloud. And once there is enough of these molecules, it is able to form a visible cloud. Clouds create something known as the albedo effect, which is when a white object reflects the light more efficiently than a darker object. So without coccolithophores, the planet will start to warm because of the lack of photoreflective clouds. Methane gas is the most emitted gas, weighing in at 10% of all greenhouse gases emitted, and is 30 times more damaging to the climate. However, it does stay in the atmosphere for about 12 years. It is much more efficient in creating a radiation trap. Methane's main source is natural gas line ruptures and livestock, which produces more damage to the climate than cars, planes, and other forms of transport combined.
What do an air conditioner, a fire extinguisher, an aerosol, and a fridge have in common? They all contain F-gases, chemical compounds which, as greenhouse gases, drive climate change. Among them, the superstars are CFCs. CFCs are responsible for the hole in the ozone layer. They've been banned in refrigerators and aerosols. Today, they've largely disappeared from our everyday lives, having been replaced by a new generation of chemicals, F-gases. But the problem hasn't been solved, because although F-gases don't destroy the ozone layer, they do contribute to climate change. They can be up to 22,800 times more harmful than CO2. Today, they already contribute as much to climate change as worldwide air traffic. And if we continue to use them, by 2050, up to 20% of all greenhouse gas emissions will derive from F-gases.
Ozone, when found in the upper stratosphere, is beneficial to biological life on the planet, as it absorbs the most energetic forms of ultraviolet light, known as UVB and UVC, which cause damage to biological matter. And it is theorized that without this protective layer, land animals would not have evolved. However, with the hole in the ozone layer, this protective layer has been compromised. But when ozone is present in the troposphere, it acts like a greenhouse gas, and is the key ingredient in smog. Some climate skeptics are stating that wind power production is a bad decision and is a waste of money because it produces more harm than good. One theory is that the noise produced by the turbines is harmful to humans, causing disturbances in sleeping patterns in a range of 1.4 kilometers. But at 250 meters away, the highest recorded sound came in at 52 decibels per hour, which is the equivalent of a household refrigerator. This is an example of people making an excuse out of little to no evidence. The main reason why people are so skeptical is because they think that it's just a way for scientists to get money from people and/or for an ongoing reason for some news. Scientific evidence for warming of the climate system is unquestionable. We are overexploiting the planet's limited resources, which is causing the planet to revert back to its pre-organic stage, as all the embedded carbon, which has taken billions of years to remove from the atmosphere, to be undone, basically creating an environment from before photosynthetic organisms. What we need to start to do right now is start getting rid of non-renewable resource usage. Yes, it will cost millions and billions of dollars, but in the long run, it will be worth getting rid of the problem before it gets any worse. The main problem, in my opinion, is government bodies not taking much action and is basically procrastinating, saying, oh, we'll just reduce carbon emissions by 20% by 2040. I think that this isn't soon enough and we need to cut all emissions now, no excuses. I mean, we have a country known for its heat and sunlight. Why can't we just harness these as a permanent power source? However, this is so hard to do because of the conflict of interest between the people who make the policies and the people who are actually mining or harvesting the resource, because of the money. People are more interested in the money than the environmental effects. People need to stop reading between the lines, trying to find an excuse, and just accept the truth that we have caused the problems collectively, so we can fix the problems for the better of the planet and our futures.